You thought your golf game was entirely in your hands. The shanks, the slices, the missed putts, all on you. But what if that wasn't entirely true? What if, without even realizing it, your game has been quietly shaped by two of the most influential figures in modern golf? Rory McIlroy and Trevor Immelman? Every time you watch Rory's powerful swing in slow motion or listen to Trevor's calm, technical breakdowns during a broadcast, you're picking up subtle cues. And whether you know it or not, those cues are working their way into your game. It seems harmless, even helpful, right? But here's the catch. What works for the world's top professionals doesn't always translate to weekend warriors. Their movements, their strategies, their routines, they're designed for elite athletes operating at the highest level. Yet millions of amateurs are now mimicking these exact techniques without the strength, training, or context to make them work. So the question is no longer, how can I get better? But rather, have I been unintentionally sabotaging my own game by chasing a professional standard I was never meant to meet? Let's find out. 1. The influence of McIlroy's swing. Rory McIlroy's swing isn't just admired, it's idolized. It's the kind of motion that looks like it belongs in a physics lab more than on a golf course. A seamless combination of explosive power, perfect tempo, and technical mastery. You've seen it, that majestic coil at the top, the whip crack of his hips unleashing, the ball soaring with effortless speed. Coaches freeze frame it, YouTubers slow it down. Golf magazines crown it the modern ideal. And naturally, amateur golfers everywhere want a piece of that magic. But here's the truth most people ignore. Rory's swing is the product of decades of elite training, custom biomechanics, strength conditioning, and fine-tuned flexibility. His body has been engineered to move that way. Yours probably hasn't. Yet golf influencers keep pushing his swing as the blueprint, inviting average players to mimic movements that are almost impossible to execute without professional-level physical prep. The result? A lot of weekend golfers trying to rotate like Rory, only to end up throwing off their posture, overusing their lower backs, or losing control of their timing. Instead of hitting longer drives, they're nursing sore hips and wondering why their consistency has vanished. The irony is hard to miss. The swing that's praised as perfect may actually be wrecking more amateur games than it's helping. And the worst part, most golfers don't even realize it's happening. They just think they're not working hard enough to get it right. 2. Trevor Immelman. Changing the golf commentary game? Trevor Immelman has quietly risen through the ranks to become one of the most respected and trusted voices in golf broadcasting. As a former Masters champion with first-hand experience at the game's highest level, he's not just filling airtime, he's reshaping how millions of golfers think about their swing, strategy, and overall approach. Now serving as CBS's lead golf analyst, Immelman offers viewers something incredibly rare: elite-level breakdowns delivered with clarity, calm, and charisma. Whether he's analyzing Tiger's footwork, Scheffler's tempo, or a rookie's grip pressure, Trevor has a way of making even the most intricate mechanics feel graspable, like it's something you could try during your next round. But that's precisely where the trouble begins. By making advanced concepts sound easy, he unintentionally sets a trap for amateur players. What you're hearing is filtered through the mind of a pro, but what your body delivers on the course is far from it. You leave the couch thinking you've unlocked some secret. I just need to stabilize my lead knee like Trevor said. Or, it's all about wrist angles through impact, right? But with no coach watching, no feedback loop, and no framework for your own swing's needs, that new information becomes a double-edged sword. Instead of gaining clarity, you start overanalyzing. Every shot becomes a checklist of technical cues. Your natural feel disappears, replaced by rigid mechanics and mental noise. And before you know it, your game isn't just inconsistent, it's cluttered with too many voices, including Trevor's. The commentary that was supposed to educate is now overwhelming, leading to what many call the most frustrating feeling in golf: paralysis by analysis. 3. The YouTube plus TV combo effect? The influence of Rory McIlroy and Trevor Immelman doesn't end when the CBS broadcast fades to black or the final round of a PGA Tour event wraps up. In fact, that's often where their true impact begins. Their voices, swings, and philosophies are repackaged and reinterpreted across thousands of YouTube videos, golf blogs, swing analyzers, Instagram reels, and TikTok tips. With just a few clicks, the average weekend golfer is pulled into a digital rabbit hole, one where Rory's picture-perfect swing and Trevor's smooth analysis dominate the narrative around what good golf should look like. But here's the kicker. Much of this content is delivered by third-party coaches and creators who borrow bits and pieces from tour pros without providing any of the necessary nuance or context. These instructors often use Rory's swing as a template or echo Trevor's commentary as if it applies universally. What they don't tell you is that your body, skill level, and golf background are probably nowhere near ready to absorb these elite techniques. Still, the content is polished, persuasive, and addictive. You watch one video on how to drive it like Rory, and next thing you know, your feed is filled with micro breakdowns of wrist hinge angles, shoulder tilts, and launch monitor data. It feels like learning, but it's often just noise. Instead of building solid fundamentals, grip, setup, tempo, and balance, golfers start prioritizing aesthetics. They want Rory's torque or Trevor's strategic savvy, without doing the hard work of building a swing from the ground up. It's like putting racing tires on a commuter car. Great for the track, totally wrong for the street. Your body can't handle the torque. Your swing sequence isn't built for those moves. And worst of all, your confidence starts to crumble when the results don't match the hype. The combined force of televised brilliance and digital repetition creates a feedback loop that's hard to escape. You start chasing perfection you were never meant to replicate, all while overlooking what your own game actually needs. In trying to play like the pros, you might be ignoring the most important lesson of all. The best golf isn't about copying someone else, it's about understanding yourself. 4. Golf tech and McIlroy's data revolution. Rory McIlroy isn't just admired for his swing, he's become a walking billboard for the era of data-driven golf. From high-speed launch monitors like TrackMan and GC Quad, to biometric trackers like Whoop, McIlroy has openly embraced a high-tech approach to mastering his craft. He often references how these tools help him measure swing speed, optimize launch angles, fine-tune spin rates, monitor fatigue, and even track his sleep and recovery cycles. For him, it's not just about talent, it's about metrics, precision, and control over every aspect of performance. This tech-forward approach has inspired an entire generation of golfers to chase data, and on the surface, that seems like a good thing. But there's a catch. While McIlroy uses these tools with the guidance of a professional team, including swing coaches, sports scientists, and trainers, amateur golfers are often left to interpret the numbers on their own. That's where the trouble starts. For weekend players, the flood of information from devices like TrackMan can be more overwhelming than enlightening. You might find out that your ball speed is too low or your spin rate is off, but without knowing why those numbers are what they are or how to fix them based on your body's limitations, it's easy to fall into a spiral of analysis without progress. Instead of developing feel, rhythm, and confidence, the cornerstones of a reliable swing, players obsess over hitting arbitrary data targets that were designed for elite athletes with years of training behind them. Even worse, many golfers begin to see every practice session as a numbers game. A good swing isn't defined by how it feels or where the ball lands. It's about whether your club path was within 1 degree or if your launch angle hit that golden 14-degree window. This mentality strips the game of its intuitive beauty and replaces it with digital anxiety. You're no longer swinging to play the game, you're swinging to impress a launch monitor. And here's where McIlroy's influence becomes a double-edged sword. His success makes it look effortless. Like if you just track the right data, you'll uncover the secret sauce to 330-yard drives and pure iron shots. But what people forget is that Rory spent decades crafting his swing before the tech even came into play. The gadgets refined his game. They didn't build it. For amateurs, the smarter path might be to use tech sparingly and intentionally, not as a crutch, but as a guide. Instead of chasing McIlroy-level numbers, focus on what the data reveals about your tendencies. Are you consistently hitting off the toe? Is your tempo changing under pressure? Use those answers to make small, personalized adjustments. Because in the end, golf isn't about being perfect on a screen. It's about being reliable on the course. The goal isn't to become Rory. The goal is to become the best version of your golfing self. And no amount of stats can replace the value of self-awareness, patience, and practice grounded in reality. 5. Trevor's coaching commentary. Hidden advice? Immelman's broadcast style often feels like a hybrid of commentary and coaching. He sprinkles in subtle technical advice mid-round, offering insights on wrist angles, stance changes, and swing tempo. While pros benefit from this kind of feedback with their coaches standing nearby, amateur players at home often take these offhand comments as gospel. You hear Trevor mention that a player is stabilizing their left knee, and suddenly you're experimenting with your stance in the middle of your next round. But these on-air tips are rarely meant as blanket advice, and without personalized instruction, trying to follow them can throw your entire game off balance. 6. The mental game. Rory's vulnerability, your struggles. One of McIlroy's most admirable qualities is his transparency about the mental challenges of professional golf. He's spoken candidly about his internal battles, the pressure, the overanalysis, and the mindset shifts he's had to make over the years. For many fans, this honesty is both refreshing and relatable. But there's a downside. When amateur players try to mirror Rory's mental strategies, changing pre-shot routines, questioning their confidence, or chasing mental clarity through YouTube psychology, it often leads to more anxiety than improvement. Rory has access to a full support team. Most weekend golfers don't. Adopting a tour-level mindset without the tools to manage it can quickly unravel your focus and confidence. 7. The cycle of influence. What makes all of this even more fascinating and potentially harmful is how interconnected the influence has become. You watch McIlroy's swing. Immelman breaks it down. Your favorite YouTube coach references both in a new tutorial. Then your own instructor tweaks your mechanics to match a tour-level move. Before you know it, your swing, your mindset, and even your practice routine are being shaped by two people who have never met you, and whose lives as elite athletes bear little resemblance to your own. It's a feedback loop that keeps turning, subtly pulling your game further away from what actually works for you. 8. So, what should you actually do? So how do you protect your game from being swallowed by this vortex of elite influence, unrealistic expectations, and content overload? It starts with a mindset shift. Be inspired, not enslaved. Let McIlroy's swing motivate you to love the game more deeply, not to mimic movements your body isn't built for. Appreciate Trevor Immelman's analysis for what it is, brilliant storytelling and professional insight, but don't confuse it with personalized coaching. There's a vast difference between learning about golf and learning your golf. The truth is, greatness in golf doesn't come from copying a tour pro's routine. It comes from understanding your own. Instead of chasing a perfect swing that looks good on video, build a functional one that works under pressure. Instead of trying to hit 180-yard 7-irons like Rory, learn how to hit your 7-iron solid 7 out of 10 times. That's real progress. That's growth. Work with a coach who sees you, not a template or a trend. Someone who doesn't just adjust your grip or stance, but understands your body mechanics, injury history, schedule, and goals. They'll help you create a swing you can repeat, not replicate. And when you watch golf content online or on TV, filter it through the lens of curiosity, not comparison. Ask, how does this apply to me? Not, why don't I look like that? And when it comes to tech, use it as a flashlight, not a microscope. Let it highlight patterns over time, not pick apart every imperfection. Track progress, not perfection. Because you're not chasing numbers, you're chasing confidence, rhythm, and joy in a game that's hard enough as it is. Most importantly, remember this. Your golf game is yours. Not Rory's, not Trevor's, not YouTube's. It's a reflection of your effort, your habits, your decisions. And it deserves the kind of care and attention that's built around you, not around someone else's swing highlight reel. So the next time you tee it up with your friends, don't bring a head full of swing theories and launch angles. Bring presence, bring trust, bring the swing you've built, one that feels right, works under pressure, and belongs to you. That's how you play better. That's how you stay in love with the game. The McIlroy Effect revelation. The truth is, Rory McIlroy and Trevor Immelman are changing the game, just not in the way you might think. Their influence stretches beyond the PGA Tour and into every layer of amateur golf, from swing mechanics to mindset, from data obsession to content creation. But they're not the problem. The problem is how we, as everyday players, use or misuse their influence. When we forget to filter elite-level advice through the lens of our own ability, we set ourselves up for failure. So the next time you step onto the course, remember, you don't need to be Rory. You just need to be a better version of you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your fellow golfers, and subscribe for more insights that'll help you take your game to the next level. Let's keep improving together.